This video is part of a webinar series on Hindudvesha, an educational series to explore and expose systemic Hindu phobia. This project is sponsored by AHAD, American Hindus Against Defamation, an initiative of the World Hindu Council of America, and Dharma Civilization Foundation.
So, Equality Labs uses three methods of promoting its hatred. And it basically produces propaganda reports, articles, and hate-oriented artwork. Number two, it leverages social media to spread its hateful propaganda. And three, it motivates and inspires its social media followers and political allies to weaponize its hateful propaganda. So number one, we're going to talk about its propaganda material. So it produced this dubious caste report in 2018 based on a tenuous survey. And the survey is given this sort of veneer of objectivity, even though it's highly biased and not the least bit objective. It concludes that there's nothing more to Hinduism than caste. The second thing that this caste report does is it includes false and highly charged accusations about Hindu culture, religion, and society. Here's an example of the organization's hate-oriented artwork. They're very clever, so you can see the word smash. So smash is, a very subtle word, but it subtly implies violence. Now, this is the example of how they leverage social media. So you can see in this picture that the CEO of Twitter is in the middle of this picture, and is surrounded by, I think, various members of Equality Labs. And it clearly illustrates that the CEO of Twitter is openly and happily adding credibility to this hate group and their vicious propaganda. This is a picture of how this organization is motivating its social media followers and political allies to weaponize its hatred. So this organization has succeeded in getting the government of California to weaponize its hate. And this, it's basically aiming to get Hindus branded as bigots who should be monitored and controlled. Now I want to go on to illustrate Hindudvesha and social media. There are many forms of Hindudvesha in social media, but I've just listed three examples. One is demeaning and insulting Hindu society and religion. Another one is calling for extermination of Hindus via genocide. And a third form is debasing sacred Hindu deities. So how does social media facilitate and propagate Hindudvesha? It does this by falsely designating Hindudvesha as a legitimate social justice and human rights discourse. And it also does this by stereotyping Hindus as privileged oppressors, thereby justifying the hatred and violence directed at them. So here's an example of high-profile media personalities who have demeaned and insulted Hindus and their culture and religion. So this lady was an NPR producer, and she equated Hinduism with piss drinking and dung worshipping. Okay, this is a slide where it's a call for Hindu Holocaust by this individual, and I think this was on Facebook. And this individual got an award from Penguin Random House. And then here's my last slide, which depicts a vulgar display and description of Hindu deities. And again, this was, I think, on Twitter. So these are just some examples of how forms of Hindudvesha on social media.